Beautiful powder room ideas. Why this tiny room should go bold. Now, if there's one room in your home where I think you should be allowed to break a few of the many decorating rules, it's your powder room if you have one. Now, this is usually one of, if not the smallest room in your house. And because of that, we tend to treat it like an afterthought. We pick this really safe, aka bland and boring paint color. We usually just hang a standard mirror over the sink. You add one of those little hand towel bars, and we call it a day. But I think we are looking at powder rooms completely wrong. In my opinion, that little itty bitty room is actually one of the best opportunities in your entire home to do something wild and bold and crazy and interesting. Now, in every home I've ever lived in, I have gone crazy in my powder room. Why? Because I love home decor. So if there was ever a wallpaper I wanted to try and I was like, oh, I'm too scared to put this in my wall, the powder room is perfect because it's so small. Plus, it's way cheaper to decorate and style a small room than a great big one. So today we're looking at beautiful powder rooms and some of the design ideas that help to make these itty bitty spaces just feel beautiful and elegant and jaw-dropping. And as always, don't look at these rooms thinking that you have to recreate them exactly. Instead, look for one or two little ideas that you can still bring it to your home and make it your own. Let's get started, but before we do, welcome back to Home Decor 101. Don't forget to subscribe. So my first tip would be to let the small size work for you. The funny thing about decorating a small room is that our first instinct is to usually make it everything like lighter and quiet and just very elegant and posh. But I'm telling you, well, and if you want to do it that way, that's your prerogative, you can. But a powder room just gives you another option. Instead of trying to make the room look larger, we know it's a small room. Let's just be comfortable with that. And just embrace the fact that you can go crazy. And sometimes a small room can actually become more interesting when you stop trying to make it look bigger. You just dive in on the smallness of the room and just make it beautiful. Now, my second reason to decorate is because this room was made for wallpaper. Like I said, if you've been secretly wanting to try a certain wallpaper, but there's always something holding you back. Either you are just kind of scared of wallpapering your entire room in that print and then it's super overwhelming, or you don't know how your big room would look if you used florals or botanicals or stripes. Now you get to decorate your powder room and just immerse yourself in that beautiful pattern. And another advantage that I brought up earlier, you're going to be working with way fewer square feet. So you're going to be able to use a wallpaper that you thought would be too busy or too much, or a wallpaper that was far too expensive to decorate your entire room, but you don't need that much of it. So splurge. Okay, the third thing that you can do is to give the mirror some personality. Now, you know, we go into the powder rooms and a lot of people still just have their builder grade mirrors up. Either the mirrors with no frame at all that are just kind of stuck to the wall, or the very thin framed mirrors. But I'm telling you, since your wall is not that big, this is your chance to go wild and go crazy. Go find a funky gold trimmed mirror, or silver, or brass, or bronze, or whatever that you want it to do. A powder room doesn't just have to have a giant medicine cabinet unless you actually need that storage. So this is your opportunity to treat whatever mirror that you're picking out almost like artwork. In my opinion, this is where looking at inspiration photos and videos becomes really useful, because you may see a powder room that costs, more than your car, $20,000, and you can find dupes and replicas and bring it home very cost efficiently. It also gives you tips and ideas of where to save and where to splurge. Now, lighting changes everything. Lighting is another place where powder rooms can have a little bit of fun. And instead of automatically choosing the most basic vanity lights that you can find, or those, the boob lights that everyone hangs kind of overhead, just think about what you could choose if this were any other room in the house. A beautiful sconce on either side of that gorgeous mirror that we just talked about, or beautiful pendant lighting, or even a chandelier. Then you have to make some decisions. Do you want extremely harsh, cool lighting, or do you want ambient, kind of yellow lighting? So many decisions, but this can really set the tone of what you're trying to do. Another tip for you is to think differently about the vanity. Now, the vanity can completely determine the personality of your new powder room that you're creating. It doesn't always just have to look like traditional bathroom cabinetry, right? Something that you would just go to Home Depot or Lowe's to get. Some of my personal favorite powder rooms use vanities that resemble beautiful pieces of furniture. Also, remember that using wood can bring a lot of warmth into the space, especially when you add some tile or some stone around it. Or you can even just go crazy and paint your vanity. That way you can get any color that you're trying to match. There's also pedestal sinks and wall-mounted sinks and so many options. Even if you have a pedestal sink, there's ways that if you need a little bit of storage, you can put like a little bit of fabric around it, kind of create that peekaboo storage. Because think about it, you don't need enormous, huge amounts of storage in a powder room, just somewhere for extra toilet paper, hand towels, soap, and maybe a few cleaning supplies. That's about it. This isn't really a bathroom that we're trying to hide 14 hair products and 6 toothbrushes and whatever else. So we're going to have a little bit more freedom with not having to have so much storage. Another tip would be not to forget the little details. Now, you've handled a lot of the bigger decisions we've talked about, but those little details are where the room really starts to become personal. Now, I know this is going to sound crazy, but artwork can make a huge difference. And yes, you can absolutely hang artwork and even real artwork in a powder room. Now, you can also bring in a beautiful soap dispenser, a cute little tray so somebody can pop rings or something like that on if they're washing their hands. It's always good to have maybe a small little vase of fresh flowers or a tiny succulent. And y'all know I cannot keep plants alive, so I don't even know if a succulent would work in a powder room, but I have seen some powder rooms with windows, so I guess it could work. Of course, you can have a towel or a candle, but just don't feel obligated to fill up every empty space and surface you have. Go ahead and keep that negative space going, because we know sometimes if we want items to stand out, we kind of surround them with a few empty surfaces. It's going to make them pop. So what I want you to do while you're looking at these beautiful powder rooms, something for you to remember. These are inspiration rooms. They're not your shopping list. I don't ever want you to take a picture and just say, okay, I need to get this, I need to get that, I need to find the wallpaper, the paint color, because then it's whoever created that room. It's not really you. So let's put your spin on it. Let's figure out what about this room caught your attention, so then you can emulate it once you get home and just really create a room that just screams your name out. And the best part is, instead of just saying, oh, I like this room, you will start to pinpoint and zero in on why you like the room. And my last tip for you, I know I've been all over the place, guys. I'm not feeling the best, so I've already taken some cough medicine, so I'm a little loopy right now. But my last tip is the fact that you don't need a complete renovation. Don't assume that creating a beautiful powder room means that you have to have 4 guys in and out of your house, ripping out your powder room and starting over. If your vanity is perfectly fine, keep it. If it's a color that you don't love, update it. Just switch the color. Maybe change out the hardware. That keeps it nice and modern, and it saves you from buying a vanity. Maybe you paint in the room, you add some wallpaper, and it can be the easy kind like peel and stick. You switch your mirror out, you install a better lighting. Sometimes just 2 or 3 relatively small changes are enough to completely switch the personality of a room. And like I've told you all 100 times in this video, because the powder room is usually so small, it's such a wonderful place to experiment before committing to something throughout the rest of your house that you spend money on redecorating, and then you sit down, you look around your home, and you're like, oh, I hate it. The powder room is perfect to practice. Worst case scenario, you learn something you didn't like. Best case scenario, the smallest room in your home becomes the one that everyone remembers and gives you the courage and the confidence to go out to every other room in your home and start making some changes, baby. Use this video, take it as your inspiration as it's time to finally give that little room some attention. You don't need a bigger bathroom. You don't need more square footage. You don't need an enormous budget. And you don't even need to recreate one of these rooms. Just pick one idea. Maybe finally try that wallpaper you were looking at. Maybe decide to go a deeper, darker, moodier color because you love that look and you're scared to do it in your whole house, but this is going to be your room to practice on. Because small rooms don't have to play small, and sometimes they are exactly where you can afford to be a little braver. So I would love to know in the comments section, let me know which one of these powder rooms spoke to you. I'm going to go ahead and put my favorite 2 on the screen right now. Well, you know what? I'll be nice. I'm going to give you my favorite 3 powder rooms. Let me know what you think of them and tell me what yours were down in the comments. Until next time, hey guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.